Jazzcast Pros.
Welcome back, beautiful souls. I am your host, Maryann Rivera-Dannert, and this is Healing Her Within. And if you have been rocking with me since the days of Fearless Fridays, you already know that this space has always been about truth-telling, growth, and bonus. And today, I want to go back as to why the shift and share with you a little bit more about behind the scenes of the reason from me shifting from Fearless Fridays with Maryann to Healing Her Within. So this is not just about a name change. It's a deeper calling. It's a spiritual evolution. And I want to dig a little deeper into that because I hope that as with any transition, whenever there's a name change, whenever there's rebranding, sometimes people are either confused, they're unclear, they're not sure why the change happened. It's kind of like you're here one day and then something else the next day. And I just want to remind you all that it is more than that. So what Fearless Fridays was all about. Fearless Fridays launched with a bold mission to inspire women to take bold, courageous steps towards their goals. And a lot of the topics that we covered were confidence building, leaving toxic relationships, starting a business, sharing stories of resilience and fearlessness. And we did a lot of interviews with everyday women who were doing extraordinary things. And the vibe, the feel was raw, real, motivating, and no fluff. And here's the thing. There's still a little bit of that in Healing Her Within, but with a different twist. So Fearless Fridays was powerful and it served its season. But what I started to notice was something that was a little intriguing, a little interesting. I started noticing that many women, while taking bold action and making courageous moves, they were still hurting. They were still stuck. They were still doubting themselves. And even while doing the thing, they still felt that imposter syndrome, that they were not good enough, that they were not worthy. So I shifted to Healing Her Within because as a life coach, a healing facilitator, I started seeing a pattern that yes, women were doing the work, but hadn't healed enough to fully receive the benefits of their bold moves and actions. They were still just going with the flow, not digging deep into who they truly were. And as I started going through my own healing journey and made the decision to say yes to ayahuasca, some of the healing tools that I used in my own work included therapy, inner child work, energy healing, and then again, as I talked about, my ayahuasca journey. And I realized that we don't just need motivation. We need inner healing. We need safe spaces to tend to the wounds that we never gave ourselves permission to look at. And that's when Healing Her Within was born. So what Healing Her Within is about, it is a safe space for women to explore healing, self-love, and transformation. So we go beyond the surface to heal the root. And in addition to healing the root, we go a little deeper into different healing modalities. And I want to quickly share what some of those healing modalities are, even though I've kind of have mentioned this before, but we talk about different healing modalities. And some of those things include, again, therapy, prayer, plant medicine, journaling, meditation, exercise, changing our diets, Reiki, Ayurveda, tarot cards, oracle card readings. There are so many. And I talk sometimes about these different healing modalities from the place of I've either tried these things or from a place of curiosity. So some of the things that I have tried, and I've talked about this before, has been Reiki, acupuncture, massages, journaling, meditation, most recently plant medicine, and so forth. So while I talk about them from a place of curiosity, some personal experience, I also will be bringing in experts to talk a little bit deeper about these different healing modalities. So some of the topics that we will be discussing in addition to the different healing modalities include inner child healing, releasing the strong woman syndrome, somatic healing and nervous system regulation, self-abandonment and codependency, reclaiming your voice and body, spiritual awakening, shadow work, integration, becoming her, your higher self. Because here's the truth. We can take part of all the different healing modalities, but unless you heal that inner child, that inner you, for me, little Maryann, you know that around here, I talk a lot about my inner child, little Maryann, my teenage self. Nothing is really going to change. So we have to start there. We have to start within. We have to go back to that moment that we experienced trauma, that we experienced violation, that we experienced hurt, that we experienced whatever form of adversity, whatever that thing is that is keeping you stuck and has kept you stuck. We have to go back to that moment to heal that little version of us. And we'll be talking a little bit more as to what does that actually look like, because I'm pretty sure that you have heard the term before, healing your inner child, healing your inner, teenager. But what does that actually mean? What does that actually look like? So we'll be diving a little deeper into that. Releasing the strong woman syndrome. Most likely as a woman in this Western world, depending on your culture, you were raised that you don't show weakness. Sometimes we think that it's only men that are raised with this mindset, but it also affects women. You are raised, you have been raised and you have seen those women that have raised you to be strong, to be taking care of everyone else, to put your needs on the back burner so you can take care of your significant other, so you can take care of your children, to take care of your spouse, to take care of, your employer if you work, for someone else. You are sacrificing your dreams, your goals, your desires for other people. And one day you wake up and you're like, who am I? You don't recognize who you are. So that's another topic that we are going to be working on, is releasing the strong woman syndrome, because even the most independent woman, whether you're making 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever figures you are making, whatever you are able to afford for yourself, it goes beyond that. Even the strongest woman needs nurturing and to be taken care of. We're going to be diving a little deeper into somatic healing and nervous system. What does that actually mean? What does that look like? We're going to be talking about self-abandonment and codependency. Again, sometimes we forget who we are because we are morphed. We become this other version of ourselves to make whatever partner we're with, whatever friendships we are involved with, whatever situation we are in, we forget about ourselves. We abandon ourselves for the sake of other people. We say yes to things. We say yes to people. We say yes to places, invitations that don't serve us, that we deep down inside do not want to be a part of, but we are afraid of saying no. We are afraid of setting boundaries. And when you do that, you are actually abandoning yourself. So we are going to also talk about reclaiming your voice and reclaiming your body. What does that mean? What does your voice want to say? What does your voice feel like? What does it feel like when you set boundaries, when you speak your truth? It's not about putting people down. It's not about shaming or anything like that. It's about speaking your truth. Your body was meant to move, to feel sensual, not in a slutty or derogatory, type of way, but in a sensual way that is healing, that you are healing from the inside out. We're going to be talking about that also. We're going to be talking about spiritual awakening and shadow work. We're going to be talking about integration because, again, becoming her, your higher self, is what you were placed here for. This is for women who are tired of wearing masks, of having it all together. For those who are powerful on the outside but feel empty, confused, or lost on the inside. For survivors of trauma, toxic relationships, or religious conditioning. This is for women who are ready to break generational patterns and finally put themselves first. For women who are ready to stop shrinking and step fully into the version that they truly are. Some additional benefits of being a part of this community: deep emotional healing and validation, clarity around your purpose and power, practical tools for reparenting, self-care, and setting boundaries, a sense of community, no more healing alone. We're going to be having real conversations that make you feel seen, held, and heard. So from fearless to free, why this shift matters very deeply. Fearless Fridays helped women to take action. But what I began to notice once again was both in my life and with the women that I coach and people that I just have day-to-day conversations with is that action without healing can sometimes become another form of distraction. You know what I'm talking about. You are constantly learning, reading, you're consuming. But if you're not taking any action, nothing is going to change. We're constantly chasing goals, titles, and checklists, trying to prove our own worth. We leave a toxic relationship, but we end up repeating the pattern. We launch the business, write the book, we take the leap, but we still feel unworthy, unseen, or stuck. So I realized that fearlessness isn't just about pushing forward. True fearlessness comes from being whole, from healing what hurt you so you no longer have to prove anything to anyone else, including yourself. That's where healing her within comes in. This isn't about fixing you because you're not broken. It's about reclaiming the parts of you that got you silenced, shamed, or left behind. This shift matters because we have glorified the hustle and grind without addressing grief and trauma. Too many women are burnt out from being the strong one or the reliable one. How many of you are always there for everyone else? Someone calls you, they need gas money, they need a ride, they need a favor, they need this, they need that. And you quickly drop what you're doing. And you could possibly even be giving your very last to help someone else. But yet, when you need a favor, when you are down, when you are grieving, when you feel broken and alone, who is there to help you? Most likely, no one. At least that's what I have seen. I have seen so many women make posts about, I'm tired of being there for everyone else and no one is showing up for me. Who is there to help me? You have been everything for everyone. But when was the last time that you asked yourself, what do I need? What do I feel? Who am I without the pressure to perform? So healing her within is a sacred pause. It's the mirror. It's the medicine. Healing is how we break generational cycles. We don't just heal for ourselves. And I want you to listen very carefully for what I'm about to say next. We don't just heal for ourselves. We heal for our daughters, our nieces, our mothers, our aunts, our ancestors, and the women that we serve. When we stop shrinking and finally choose ourselves, we give others permission to do the same. Healing is the bridge between fearlessness and freedom. It's one thing to make bold moves while still carrying your pain. And it's another thing entirely to move in boldness from a grounded, regulated, in spiritually aligned space. So Fearless Fridays was the spark, and Healing Her Within is the fire. So if you have ever listened to Fearless Fridays with Maryann, I thank you. And you helped to create this space. And I now invite you to walk with me into this next chapter. Subscribe to Healing Her Within on Apple, Spotify, or right here on the Jazzcast Pros Network, or wherever else you may listen to your podcast, because we are in over 20 different platforms. I also want you to share this episode with one woman who's ready to heal. And lastly, I want you to screenshot and tag me at the real Maryann Rivera Dannert on Instagram and let me know what resonated most with you. Your healing is not a luxury. It's your birthright. And this space, it's for her. It's for you. It's for us. So I hope that this helps you just get a little bit more clarity and understanding as to why I made the shift a couple of months ago, because actually we made this shift back in June. The first episode in June was the new one with Healing Her Within. But I just felt the need to just come back and just remind everyone and go a little bit deeper as to why the shift happened and what we are here to provide for you, what the benefits are. So again, please share this with a woman or two. Leave us a review, leave us a comment, and I look forward to you listening right here next week with a whole brand new episode. Let's keep healing. Let's keep rising. Let's keep growing. Insist. Let's keep glowing.